Send the tight end Lyons in motion, and it's Mayaba popping it to him. There's Lyons, the tight end, rumbling in, touchdown, USC. In motion, and it is a throw. Mayaba back of the end zone. It's a touchdown. Tanuk Hines puts it away.
Welcome to the Put on Waivers Media Group, home of the Put on Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome everybody to another glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle, so check me out there. Also, check out Coach B, who is Blue DVL 21. Right now, things are just wrapping up here at the Coliseum. You got USC 45 and Michigan State 31. A lot of points in this ball game. USC really had maybe one drive where it looked like they were kind of had to push to put pedal to the metal, if you will, because after a fumble by DJ Jordan, it looked like it was going to be a closer game than it really needed to be. But at the end of the day, USC prevailed and were able to come out here and win that game. Just of note, the Elijah Page left tackle went out of this game, did not return, came back with street clothes on. That's a huge injury. So you can't we can't they kind of hide that one. I mean, we'll see what happens with that one. They go at Illinois. Illinois got absolutely destroyed today by Indiana. So at home they're a better team than that, and they're going to be ready to go. But right now, the part of the schedule that we thought would be okay, the part of the schedule that we thought would be fine for the Trojans to just kind of walk right through, they were able to do so. 45-31, they win today. You kind of thought that it was going to be one of those days. They've done a great job of just taking the bull by the horns on offense. Today, 20 carries. Let's see, it was on the running game. Well, the running game was 37 rushes today and 283 yards rushing with 3 TDs, 2 by Jaden Mayava and 1 rushing touchdown by Makai Lemon, his first ever. And then you also had Wayman Jordan was 18 for 157, and Eli Sanders was 13 for 84. So what made this game close, because it was 31-10, this is our instant reaction to the 45-31 victory for USC over the Spartans. You're up 31-10. You hold them, and I think it's like a 4th and 15 or something like that, or 13. They punt. You try to block the punt. In that situation, just get possession of the ball. Who cares about trying to block a punt there? You're moving the football at will. Get the ball, put the ball back in Mayava's hand, put the ball back in Jordan's hands, Sanders' hands, Makai Lemon, things like that. Players like that, but it ends up being after the penalty, it ends up being like a 4th and 7. They get it, they score on that drive, they kick the ball off to USC. USC gets the ball. First play, it's going to be a nice little 7-yard, 8-yard play by DJ Jordan on a bubble screen. That play is going to kind of be a good a drive starter for SC. He fumbles it, then deep in Trojan territory, and you know how the whole story is the whole story about how that happened. So I think the two things you have to worry about from this game really quickly was, I think late in the game, DJ Harvey gave a touchdown. When you're up 3 scores in these games, okay, they're up 3 scores, and the receivers obviously trying to go deep on you. If he runs a double move, which the receiver did, who cares about a double move? You just play over the top of that because you're playing the scoreboard. If he stops, and catches a 15-yard pass and goes out of bounds, you'll live with that. But you can't get over the top. And he in that situation, he gave a play over the top. That was a late score for the touchdown to make it because the score was 45 to 24. That made it 31-45. That was a horrible play. And then you also had early in this game another coverage bust. And now it's just a thing now. Now it's just a thing that they do. They just bust and leave somebody wide open early in games. And I don't know what we can do about that. I know a lot of people were I think the way this season is happening here, now that Lincoln is cooking, and it seems like maybe Lynn is a little bit leaky, people are really kind of being slow to be like, hey, what's going on with the defensive side of football? That is a really expensive defensive coaching staff. So what is really going on as far as that secondary goes? I don't know what I don't know what they're trying. I don't know what's going on back there, but they are missing some plays back there. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. The pass rush was what was decent. They had some nice tackles for loss today. If you get a chance to see, if you weren't at the game, if you didn't get to see the game, but you watch it again later on, or if you watched it and you want to see it one more time, you got to watch Thanos today. I mean, some of those snaps that he got off the line of scrimmage were just absolutely sick. He was incredible today. Also, I want to give props out to Eric Gentry, who played well. Devin Tompkins played well today. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? Braden Shelby played well today. And now, if you're not familiar with it, Cameron. It used to be Cameron Fountain. Now it's Cameron Crawford. So, Freudian slips. Excuse us if we call you Fountain by accident, but he changed his name to Cameron Crawford. So just so respect that. But he is definitely, he's always in the backfield doing some really disruptive things to the opponent's offense. So, obviously props to him as well. The strength of this team on defense is defensive line. The weakness is the secondary. They're going to face a very accurate. I know what he showed today, but a very accurate veteran quarterback at 9:00 in the morning on Saturday next week. So we'll see. We'll see what the Trojans are truly made of, because this is where the real season starts. So, people want to look at to run the football more. He did. USC threw the ball 26 times, and then they ran it 37 times. They were led in receiving by Mekhi Lemon with no Jacoby Lane. 8 catches, 127 yards, and 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 1 receiving. And then you have receiving touchdowns by Walker Lyons, and then Tanuk Hines became the 14th USC Trojan to score a touchdown this season. So kudos to him, and give him a lot of props. No turnovers, no turnovers gotten by the Trojans defense today. Sierra had 1 field goal where he was I think a 25-yarder. The first points of the game was by him. So. And he's been great on kickoffs as well too. So, but I think there's context to the 31 points. It's still going to be 31 points regardless of the whole situation. But they really needed to, when you have control of those games, like USC did, you just let them kick it. Don't worry about they're kicking it off to you. They're punting to you. Who cares about trying to block the punt? It's not like you're down in the game. You're desperately trying to get a kickstart of play for your offense or for your team. Receive the ball, get the ball. Your offense is unstoppable, and hopefully that continues for the Trojans. So, Student Body Right USC podcast. This is gonna be a big week. I'm gonna try to do a lot of work this week, and I really have watched a tremendous amount of film on Illinois. I watched that quarterback like a hawk. I watched every single snap from last year. And this is a big game for SC. This is the start of a 3-game stretch where they play 3 mobile quarterbacks who can make plays down the field and teams who are pretty damn physical. And how they get through that, is going to be a big thing. Now after the Illinois game, they do have a well-deserved bye. So hopefully, Elijah Page is back. I mean, Elijah Page being in street clothes makes me think he's probably not playing next week. Like I with just the history of players who get hurt with Lincoln Riley, they usually don't play next week when they're in street clothes like that. So that could be just a precaution. Hopefully it is. They kind of need Elijah Page. Especially for the Michigan game. If you saw Michigan play Nebraska today, where they have like 8 sacks, that defense really is next level. So especially on the defensive line. So you want to see USC be at their full capacity on the offensive line when that comes time to play Michigan. But first comes first, the Illini come next. The Spartans, Trojans are undefeated in the conference. So we'll see if that continues. And I said, I would say the biggest thing for Trojan fans to remember, the team you just saw get destroyed by by Indiana, is not the team you're going to see on Saturday. They are going to be ready for the Trojans. Believe me. Brett Bellum is not. He's a son of a gun as far as the coach goes. And they're going to be a pain in the ass that day. So hopefully USC be ready, and then we'll get you ready for it here on the Student Body Right USC podcast. Just getting ready and just going over everything you need to know about that big game, and because this is the real season for the Trojans, no question about it, the real season for the Trojans. But this game, the biggest concern would be the secondary blowing that coverage early in the game, and then also DJ Harvey he's been disappointing as far as a guy who you thought from the transfer portal will come over and be a starter who can come in and make plays. USC is trying to give him a chance, to do things here. And I mean, for him to be a veteran corner and not play the scoreboard and just not get the job done. It was in that situation when they're trying to go deep. It's just like, that's just tough work there. That's really tough work there. So Mayaba, back to him. Really didn't have any turnover-worthy plays. He had a Caleb-esque, like a Caleb Williams-esque play late in this game when the game went on third down, where he got bumped around like a pinball in a machine, and then he was able to sneak out of it for a first down, use his legs, which was really important. And then he had a ball that was tipped. Like McCree made a really great play on it. So McCree got 2 catches for 16 yards in the ball game. So you had that. But again, I'm not gonna go too far deep into this game. This was just a game that they just had to get out of the way and just have to win. And now we're in a situation here where it's time. It's time. It's time. It's really time. This is the real part of the season, because this team, the way they have played so far, has a legitimate chance to go to the playoff. And again, it begins that 4-game stretch where I said, hey, if they can win, because I think if the Trojans beat Michigan, they're going to go undefeated at home. The schedule's right behind me. Yeah, they lose. Yeah, let's be. Michigan's the last home game, so if they win, if they beat Michigan on the 11th of October, they're going undefeated in the Collie because the next couple of games are what let me see here. The next games are Northwestern, Iowa, and then UCLA. So I think they're going to go undefeated in that situation, but they got to go 2-2 on the road. If they do 3-1, that's even better. But 2-2, they play at Oregon, they play at Notre Dame, they play at Nebraska, and then they play the Fighting Illini, who are going to be really, really tough team to deal with as far as USC goes. It'd be interesting to see how far they drop because I'm gonna see what the score was for that game, the final score from that game, because I know Kirk Cignetti is just ruthless. He was not if he gets you down, he wants to destroy you. But that final, let's see, the final of that game was 63-10, and they were ranked 9th. So be interesting to see what happens as far as that goes. Be interested to see. Fernando Mendoza is playing really good football for Illinois. So you got, as much as we like Mayava, Mendoza has been doing some work there as well. So, all right, to Nobody Right USC podcast, Dwayne Douglas here, just wrapping up, putting a bow on this 31-45 victory by the Trojans over the Spartans. They are now 4-0, and they're now 2-0 in the Big Ten. I don't think we have much to go over that as far as that goes. We know this is, like I said, the defensive woes. This is not any film study or anything like that, but this is the defensive woes. The defensive woes that we're seeing is just like the breakdown in secondary. And I don't know if it means that they play, when they get leads, can they just play too high safety and do like and play it like that? You know what I mean? And just look at that pass rush, and hopefully that pass rush can get to the quarterback. We'll see if that's the case, but something has to change. Something has to happen because what's happening defensively is in these moments are getting really kind of ugly. All right, see anybody right USC podcast. We're back tomorrow, getting ready for Illinois. It's Illinois week, fighting Illini week, fighting Illini week. The real season begins for the Trojans right now.